Hey everybody, it's Party Elite. After a short but refreshing break, I'd like to say welcome back to Planet Zoo. Now, those of you who are joining us fresh and you see episode 1 in the title or on the thumbnail and you're wondering, what does he mean welcome back? Just to give you a quick, brief rundown, this is in some ways season 2 of our franchise mode Let's Play in Planet Zoo. Now, season 1, so to speak, isn't prerequisite viewing or anything, but I just want to make sure that everyone who's watching is on the same page with what happened for, quote-unquote, again, season 1. Basically, Elite Zoo North was built, nurtured, developed, grown over the course of 100 episodes for season 1. And it was so much fun. We did so much experimentation, all kinds of wild builds and things like that. And we're going to continue that same spirit with our new zoo, with one important note. So, partway through Elite Zoo North's, season, let's call it, we, for one, it started getting a little too big. But for two, we realized that almost all of the animals were exclusive to the Northern Hemisphere. There was a couple of animals that were on both sides, and there were some animals that are just Southern Hemisphere, very few though. And so Elite Zoo North became the Northern Hemisphere Zoo, so to speak, and the plan then became to build Elite Zoo South as our second zoo in the franchise, and that would focus on the Southern Hemisphere, with a little bit of Northern Hemisphere and some mixing and stuff as well. But what does that mean? That means that we're going to see all of the African animals. We're going to be seeing, animals from the South America DLC, and I'm really hoping that we're also going to see an Australia or Oceania DLC at some point in the near future, because that will really help fill out our space as well. Not that there isn't already a lot to do. Now, I'm super excited for this because, that nervous excitement of kicking off something new. I hope you all are going to enjoy this series. I hope those of you that are joining us anew, I suppose, are going to enjoy this series as well, and of course our long-timers as well, welcome back. If you are excited for more Planet Zoo on this channel, let me know by leaving a like and a comment down below. As always, likes and comments are a quick read for me to understand what people are interested in, and I do read each and every comment to guide me in terms of what y'all are interested in seeing more or less of, and how you want to see it done. Now, I'm wasting more than enough time diving in. It's that nervous start, right? So the plan is to put the zoo down in Australia. I want to put it down right over here to get it as quote-unquote opposite as possible to Elite Zoo North. I also really like the visual of us having one little like a pin down here and a pin up there. It feels like Earth is on that kind of an axis and those are the poles. So I personally like that imagery as well. So right down over here in the grassland. Now I did a little bit of research with regards to what looks best for the purposes of viewing and whatnot, and I feel like grassland is going to bring some nice change in aesthetic and stuff, and I'll get to more on that in a bit. But let's go ahead. Elite Zoo South, yep, that's our formatting. Oceania, grassland biome, and you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and say let's play it on hard difficulty. We can always tone it down if it becomes overbearing, but let's play it on hard difficulty, because that will mean that animals will actually start getting bored of their enrichment items. Stress is a serious concern. Welfare is hard to maintain. There are more things to concern. And if it starts becoming a hassle further down the series, where we have tons of animals, we can tone it down later. Or at least I'm pretty sure we can tone it down. Only one way to find out, right? So here we go, folks. Time to create the zoo, I guess. Elite Zoo South. Yep. Grassland, Oceania. This is the right spot, and let's begin. Oh man, here we go. Again, as always, the format of this series will be relatively familiar to those of you that watched, oh hello, oh right. This will tell you the last time I played the game was during our live stream, where I guess I managed to help a little bit with the community challenge at the time. Wonderful. That's a good way to start this season 2 off. Oh, this is a great way to start the season 2 off. Beautiful. We've got ourselves... you know what, hang on a second. Before any facilities have been placed down, before anything has begun, we've already gotten ourselves a, I can't even see it. That's hilarious. That's hilarious, because I got to build the facilities. Anyway, as I was saying, the format of this is going to be very familiar to some of you, but for those of you that are, again, joining us fresh, the plan is often we will have almost always we'll have a time lapse for a lot of construction work, and then we'll be doing a little bit of management, and that's sort of every episode. So there's hopefully something for everyone in every episode. That's always my goal and desire. Today's episode is going to kick off more or less immediately with a time lapse, because I feel like there is a fair bit of construction work to do. I have some big ideas with regards to adjusting the terrain and stuff as well. And rather than do it, one click at a time with you watching me painstakingly place all these little things down, why not time lapse it? And then we'll go over everything we've done. And hopefully we'll even get our first animals in today. But again, I have to be very wary of our finances, because I've gotten way too used to having millions of dollars from Elite Zoo North. With that in mind, it's time-lapse time. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with Planet Zoo with our first time-lapse for Elite Zoo South. Super exciting times. But yeah, let's get right to it. I'm going to try my best, knowing what I know with regards to what happens after this time-lapse. I'm going to do my best to not spoil anything, because, oh my god. But let's try and stay focused and on topic over here. This is, for those of you that don't remember from our conversations at the end of the last season, if you will, and for those of you that are maybe joining us completely fresh, this is going to be an enclosure for the Saltwater Crocodile. We've got a pair from the old zoo that we're transporting down to Elite Zoo South to kick us off with some decent quality new animals. I wouldn't say they're the best quality, but they are a good animal to have. They've got decent appeal and stuff as well. So I think they'll do quite good for us without us needing to invest in those initial animals too heavily. I've got some grand plans for our entrance as well. And yes, while this is extremely large, this is a massive space for the crocodiles. Again, those of you that are familiar with my approach will think it's just me being me. And to a degree it is. I often tend to build enclosures that are a little too big, compared to what they need to be. But the reality is that I expect this space to become very busy with what I have planned for it. So you can consider the size of this enclosure to be a reflection of future planning. And I know it's not going to make perfect sense now. It might not make perfect sense for the first, 10 episodes. But very soon, the space is going to get filled out. There's going to be a lot going on in the area, which is why the enclosure is so big. My plan is that guests come through. They have this, waterside dock. Not a dock, but this waterside bridge type area where they're able to sit down on benches, look at the animals. There will be vendors to buy food and drink from. So that's kind of, it's like a chill space right when you come in. We're going to have a nice big sign to welcome guests into the zoo, and then they will go up these ramps on either side of the of this enclosure over here, and they're going to end up at the top here, which is going to lead them to the rest of the zoo, or to a big part of the zoo, I should say, which will be the Africa section. There's a lot going on in this enclosure. There's a lot that needs to be going on in this enclosure. Unfortunately, because we're playing franchise mode, we do have, fund limitations and things like that, all sorts of limitations that we have to consider as well. So we're only able to execute so much at a time, which to me is a part of what makes playing franchise mode so interesting, is that there is a limiting factor. You have things to work around, or you have things rather that you have to work around. So I'm pretty interested in seeing, how we iterate, because again, iteration is the name of the game, right? You come through, you make progress, you take things as far as you can take them, then you come back to them, you revisit them, and add more to them as soon as you can either afford to, or otherwise when you're able to, for example, because you've unlocked new technology or whatever it might be. But yeah, so that's the overall plan. And just as a reminder, and again, for those of you that are new, the plan is to also try and make this zoo entirely accessible as far as physical accessibility is concerned. That's why we're going to try and avoid staircases as much as possible. It's all going to be ramps, hopefully. And anytime that we actually need to do staircases for whatever reason, we want to try and build a custom, elevator piece. Like we'll build a blueprint and things like that, and again, kind of play up that accessibility angle. Not only is it a neat, I think, perspective that it would have been cool for Planet Zoo to have considered, but I also think it's an interesting challenge for us to always keep that in mind. It will, limit, quote unquote, wrong word. I don't like the use of that word in that context, but it will change. Prefer that. It'll change how we have to approach things to make sure that our zoo, if it were a real zoo, would be enjoyable for everybody. Now, there's a lot of little, back and forthing and struggling that's going to happen over the course of this session. I just want to mention that right off the bat. Not growing pains, but starting pains. All the full classic Party Elite package is what you're going to notice with regards to there will be animal escapes. There's going to be a couple other issues, and this isn't even like the spoilers that I was talking about wanting to avoid. Things get real right after this time lapse, more or less immediately after this time lapse. But anyway, I mean, this is a very long time lapse as well, because not only do we establish this first enclosure, we also start putting down our facilities for our staff and guests. I wanted to do all of that in the time lapse because I felt like that way we could get more done today and kick us off with some decent momentum. And again, just as a reminder, we're returning to our regular schedule, which means that Planet Zoo episodes will be Eastern Standard Time, midnight on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. And then that kind of loops Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Sorry, and that way we keep some decent momentum going. So I wanted to get us off to a good start with this kickoff episode. So it's a bit of a longer time lapse, just to establish some more of those initial steps. But obviously, as a result of that, it comes with more of those initial problems. Just a heads up as we head into the rest of it, because it does get a little messy. It's an understatement. It does get a little messy, but they're not not every episode is going to be like that, obviously. It is funny, though, I have to say, time-lapsing and just basically working in general with having gotten used to our previous zoo and how much money we had, and then adapting to not having that much money, but still having a decent bit of starting capital. So it was definitely an interesting sort of mental block for me as far as making that transition. But I'm glad to be doing this. It's definitely a nice change of pace, and it's going to be a nice change of pace. I think I'm really excited about Elite Zoo South. Now here, if it's not clear, the play is that the Crocs will be able to travel and swim as they wish, when they wish, but when they want to dry off or eat or sleep, they're going to come up over here and rest up top, and just chill at the in the sun or whatever it might be. Or I guess they wouldn't chill in the sun, but you know what I'm getting at. Hide from the rain, bake in the sun, whatever it might be. It's a pretty, I want to say, interactive enclosure. It is a pretty large enclosure too, but once they have offspring, I think we'll see a lot of use out of it. And again, they like to swim a fair bit, so I wanted to make sure they had a lot of room for it. Again, yes, I know, it's far too big for what the animal actually needs, but don't worry, it's not just about the crocodiles. This is not just an enclosure, this is an experience space. We want to make sure people get that sense of awe. And again, as a reminder about the design ethos behind Elite Zoo, zoos, our Elite Zoo company. The whole idea is that we want to create a tremendous experience, not just for our guests, but also for our animals. That means coming up with interesting designs, that means coming up with interesting paths, interesting overall experiences. That's what we're always aiming for. That was the design ethos behind Elite Zoo North and everything we did there, and that's going to continue. It's going to, I think, keep pushing us to take creative approaches to everything. Now, here you can see I'm putting down some of the staff facilities, and this is where things get real for me. I go like, right, these all cost a lot of money. And just getting all this organized costs a lot of money. You'll actually notice I skipped past the vet research center because we won't need that right away. And I wanted to save that money for starters because things are, you can take a look at our finances right now. They're pretty tight. And I'd actually completely forgotten some very important things that I'll touch on when we get to it. But yeah, so we've got all of our staff facilities minus the vets, but that's okay. We'll get that eventually. And I wanted to get some some vendors down as well because I want to make sure guests aren't just doing donations, like I don't just want their donations, I want to make sure they're buying food and drink and maybe merchandise as well. So we've got an info center, a Looney Balloons, and we're going to get a spot for food and a spot for drinks as well. Again, sources of money. We want to try and keep the guests here for as long as possible, even if it is just to see the one animal. And I do spend some time trying to get these things to line up nicely. That's another thing I want to keep in mind at all times for Elite Zoo South. Getting everything to line up as neatly as possible, as often as possible, being very selective about using the grid and making sure I use it properly when I do use it. There's lots of room for improvement from Elite Zoo North, I would say, that I'm looking forward to hopefully accomplishing right off the bat. But yeah, so we've got, you know, the enclosure. Again, it's not finished, obviously. Hopefully you can tell it's not finished. But it's all we can afford to do right now. Quite literally, it's all we can afford to do right now. The improvements to it over time will make it really quite special. I have a vision for it that I'm super excited to execute to its fullest. But yeah, it's going to be such a nice experience space. Again, living up to that whole idea of the Elite Zoo Company and how we build our, you know, spaces. One more thing, again, on the topic of lessons learned from Elite Zoo North. Bins everywhere. Just everywhere. And I might be overdoing it right now if I'm completely honest, but worst case scenario, if I've overdone it, then when we expand the zoo a little bit, I'll be moving these bins around rather than buying new ones, so it's not really a waste. It's not really a waste. Now the next step is actually getting our habitat ready, like the bounds of the habitat and stuff. And I make some crucial mistakes over here that I really regret, but we fixed them. Don't worry, we fixed them this session itself. They're not long-term issues, but they do cause things to be a little rocky at the beginning. A little, oh god, a little crocky right at the beginning, you might say. Getting our donation bins down as well. Of course, these things are extremely important. Want to make sure we're able to afford a decent number of them. Got to get some education boards down as well. And that's when I realized, right, power, and not just power, but water purification, water treatment. These were unexpected expenses. As I have put everything down, I was hoping to end this time lapse with about $2,000 to $3,000 in the bank. That would give me enough kind of wiggle room, but I forgot that the water treatment facility alone is $2,000, and our first animal has a lot of water, no dancing around that, and we had to get power. And you could just take a look at our financial situation right now at the bottom left corner. So, off to a very interesting start. After this time lapse, folks, it is a roller coaster of emotions. You'd think we were playing Planet Coaster with how much of a roller coaster of emotions it is. But we managed to, well, we do, I don't want to, it's an interesting session, folks. I hope you enjoyed this time lapse. Plenty more to come, lots more work to do over here as well. But for now, this moment, that's the time lapse. All right, folks, we are back from an exceptionally stressful time lapse, I'm going to call it. Right off the bat, kick things off right. You'll notice that our finances are not looking very hot. I spent maybe a little bit too much money on too many things over here. Again, got so used to having just basically an infinite amount of money, got so used to a certain scale of zoo that coming back down, grounding ourselves once again, is already proving itself a little challenging. But I saw this coming as a potential issue. It's not going to be the end of the world. Again, guests are going to arrive. They're going to hopefully have a wonderful time, grab some food to eat, watch some animals, and hopefully everything will be okay. I might need to actually charge for washrooms and ATMs at the beginning because I try to avoid doing that if possible. But just to make our early gap up, we might need to do that. I think this is significantly less money than we started Elite Zoo North with, but hey, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. We do need to hire some staff as well, so let's go ahead and make sure we have enough staff involved. We have our little back staff area over here. Again, I stopped like building the terrain work over here, the groundworks, if you will, because I was starting to use too much money on things that weren't immediately relevant. Again, this is why I like franchise mode over sandbox mode, because there is an inherent challenge that you have to deal with. I enjoy that a fair bit. So let's go ahead and get ourselves our keeper. Come on now. There we go. Okay, let's go ahead and get ourselves our... what else do we need? Caretaker. Yeah, well, the caretaker can chill up front instead, right? Hopefully one of each is going to be enough for now. So our Caretaker, our Keeper, we need a Mechanic for sure. Don't want things breaking down and then having to like replace them, purchase new ones. That'll be the end of us. And then let's go ahead and get our, you know, security can probably actually wait. I'm completely honest. We will need a, well, we've got enough vendors. We will need a vet though, in case things go sideways right off the bat. That'll be, you know, helpful. So let's go ahead and again, make sure that salaries are okay as well. All right, I gotta hit play for that. Am I in a comfortable position? The zoo's going to open right off the bat, right? We want to make sure that we are ready to open. Yes, we are open. Excellent. We want to make sure that we get our first animal in place. Let's do that. Well, really quickly, I just want to touch on the Nyala. We also have a Nile monitor that is ideal. Then we have the Nyala as well. Again, a suitable reward. But the first animal, as I'm sure I went over during the time lapse, is our Saltwater Crocodile that we have from Elite Zoo North. Now, I'm actually going to have to do a trade session very soon because we are very topped up as far as storage is concerned. So we will have to do that, you know, sometime soon. But for now, we need to get our Saltwater Crocodiles in here. Now, one thing I do want to do, just as I did with Elite Zoo North, is I want to change our time dilation, if you will. I want to have it. It gives us more of an opportunity to get familiar with animals and just get to know them and things like that. I feel like that's really a nice extra element of the game. So I want to make sure that we get our animals in here. Go ahead and move both of you in, right? They've already, so again, these guys, we have Saltwater Crocodiles in Elite Zoo North, and because of that overlap, it's a nice way to kind of make this connection and bring some of our, you know, animals from Elite Zoo North to Elite Zoo South. I just feel like it's a nice touch and ties everything together and hopefully makes us some money right off the bat. Man, this might have been, I might have overinvested. But again, even if I did, it means that it'll take us into the negatives temporarily, and then we'll bounce back into the positives. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and hit play, let time move forward. I think we've got everything in order. We've got power across the board. Yes, water is being treated. Yes, so we'll be fine there. Security, okay, well, you know, hopefully that won't be a problem at the beginning. Taking a bit of a risk, but I think we need to. Let's go ahead and unpause and just see what we get here. And I also want to make sure as soon as our, you know, guests, or not guests, but as soon as our folks drop low on cash, as soon as they hit the ground, I want to make sure I am reducing their salaries to, oh my god, mechanic alone is going to make us bankrupt. Are these salaries higher than in medium difficulty? Why do I feel like that's the case? Hopefully they're all putting animals in. Now I need to create a work zone, I suppose. Let's go ahead and start things right over here. Start with our central work zone. Where are we? Staff, work zones. Add a new one. And let's make sure all of you are in that work zone. We're just going to call it central or center for now. Nothing too complicated. Just want to make sure things are going. Man, I am not going to lie to you. I'm nervous. Right off the bat, I'm a little concerned. Making this more of a thriller than just a chill let's play, I suppose. But yeah, hopefully they'll all get in there, get the animal delivered, and we'll start seeing some guests right off the bat. Because again, we are open, and each guest that comes through will pay, what, $3? It's not a lot of money, but we don't have enough to raise that yet, obviously. Let's go ahead and unpause again. And looks like Buddy over here is going to pick up the animal, just based on how he's running. Fair enough, fair enough. Could really use some guests right about now. Obviously, we have no animals, so no one's showing up to see nothing. And I'm pretty happy with the overall initial layout in the center over here, and I'll touch on some of the details. Oh no, our vet's got it. Oh right, we've got 2 animals coming, right, of course. I'll touch on some of the details as they become relevant, and some of my plans as they become relevant. Really hope that we start seeing some guests soon. The classic Party Elite problem of making things too large is also clearly still active. I mean, this enclosure is much larger than it needs to be, significantly so. But yeah, it's part and parcel, I suppose, of my approach. Are we? You're stuck here. Okay. Hold on, game. Hang on, game. It's okay. Let's go ahead and just nudge these things in a little bit. Not sure what he's colliding with, but he's not happy about his location for some reason. There we go. Those rocks were... Nope. You good? Pull buddy over. Alright, there we go. There we go. Guests are coming through. Excellent, excellent. Nice big crowd to kick things off. Hopefully they'll be enamored by the animals we have and spread some joy and love, by which I mean leave some donations. We do need to get some enrichment for the animals as well, of course, ASAP. And I want to make sure that they are able to reach their the water. They are. Now, how are they able to get up over there? Oh, I see. They can climb. No, that doesn't make any sense. How can you get up over there? Or are you connected here? Get up over here, but that's not going to let you climb into the area. It might just be because of... No, it wouldn't be because of how the barriers are set up. I'm sure they'll point out to me exactly how they intend to escape. They'll, like, move towards it, make a beeline. Oh, yeah, look at that. People are already buying stuff. That's good. That's good. Finance it. Oh, you know what? This is actually not a bad start compared to what I was expecting. We've stayed in the black for a lot longer than I was originally expecting, actually. All right, tell me you're going to look for an animal. Oh, actually, you know what? Before that continues, let's make sure that these guys are actually sharing some education. Otherwise, we're not going to see any donations. All right, I meant to do that. Just to see our coverage over here. Yeah, that's pretty good. Good stuff. Make sure that you are teaching the right thing as well. Let's go ahead and get you on the right topic too, as opposed to, you know, nothing. Now, I'm hoping that these crocs, you know, move in towards, into the water and stuff, spend some time there. Otherwise, it'll be a bit of a bummer. Hopefully. Now, if they don't, then I expect this base will be pretty crowded up there. We'll see, we'll see. We'll obviously make adjustments if we need to. I feel like I have bitten off more than I should have right off the bat, but that's, again, like I said, classic, right? That's just my classic approach. Now, what's the problem over here? No power. Right. I think I have to just inch this over. Yeah, just a little bit over here. There we go. Done. Done, and back to education, please. A little bit of an overlap, but again, it doesn't really matter because it's not where any guest is going to walk through, so we're fine there. All right, these are all active. They're all active. Good. All right, cool. 85 bucks. All right, this is gonna be good. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. Just got to get some of those donations coming through. I mean, guests are coming through. That's good. That's good. What are they saying about ticket prices, actually? What are they saying about ticket prices? Ticket price was good value. All right, immediately right off the bat then. Right off the bat then, we need to go ahead and up the ticket price. Let's go 6 for adults and 3 for children. Let's go 5 for children. Minor discount. Let's see what what new guests that come in say. We are going too fast. All right, just touching the red a little bit. There goes all of our money. How did you get out? Did you get out? There is no animal that is out. I don't even have the warning that an animal has escaped. It's kind of funny that it suggests that they can. I don't see it. Got their water over here. I mean, I could try it. Like, we could try to remove the water and lower it a bit. Certainly not how I expected things to start. If we do that, is the water what's helping them escape? Nope, it's not got to do with the water. They can get up over there, that's fine. I guess they can get up over there, but it's not like they have. Alright, let's see if we block that off, what happens. If we block that off, what happens? Is preferably we're not going to have animals escaping right off the bat over here. There's the problem with trying to make things too complicated. Alright. Plug that gap. What do we get? That's been blocked off. We'll escape from out over there. Alright. Move this piece up over there then. Just a little in the red. Not the end of the world. Not the end of the world. Flip you around. Come on. Raise you a bit. There we go. There we go. Alright. How about now? Oh, that's better. That's a lot better. Guests are coming through. Fewer right now, but it's okay. They're coming through, and you know what? Hey, they're coming back, paying the higher price. So, you know, in some ways, in some ways, that wasn't terrible. No, it was terrible because we are playing on a harder difficulty, so that means that refunds are a problem. Anyway, let's see. We're a little in the red. Are you fleeing? Okay, legitimately? Why? How can you get up there? Guess it's sloped enough. Guess it's sloped enough. And the problem is that I don't have the money to flatten this, so we might need to take a loan. Not the end of the world. Let's go ahead and take a little loan. Take a small loan. Again, we had to do this in Elite Zoo North as well, early on. Well, not as early on, but it's fine. I suppose a $20,000 loan right now makes sense. We should be able to pay that back quickly enough. Go ahead and pop that. Gotta make sure these animals can't escape. That would be helpful. Just want to make this a sharper ridge, basically. There, that should be okay over here. And the same thing over here. Same thing over here. There we go. That ought to do it. That ought to do it. Now, way more money than I needed, obviously, but in case of any other emergencies, we now have a fund, if you will. Can we go a little bit higher? Obstructed now. Oh, that must be because of the of our animals. Fair enough. Here, let's go ahead and unpause. They'll get boxed up. Go ahead and move them. Come on now. Go ahead and move you up to there. Let's go ahead and move you up to there. Let's go. Then we put the water back in. Exactly where it was before. A little bit lower than where it was before. I want to make sure they're not escaping from those little ramps, right? Alright, cool. That ought to do the trick. That ought to... What? No, no. Come on. A little gap over here. Okay. Well, I'm glad I'm spotting all these issues. I shouldn't have just ignored it earlier, to be perfectly honest. I should have just taken it more seriously, because again, money is so tight. This is, again, it's the same thing. I've gotten so used to playing with those really high a really high just amount of resources in terms of financially speaking, and now I'm just kind of like lax with that, where I really can't afford to be. I need to keep reminding myself that. But we're good. We're good. Go ahead and pop. That's a little too high, I think. Might be. No, that's a little too high. Pop that down over there. Excellent. That should be good. And what are we looking at here? The one escape route over there. The one escape route over here. Okay, cool. I hate that you have to unpause to see that. Like to see escape routes. Alright, we're good there, and let's go ahead and sort this out as well. What I'll probably do is just temporarily, again, we're going to doll this up more afterwards when we're profitable. For now, I just want to be a bit more cognizant of my financial limitations, because I wasn't during the time lapse, which is why we are where we are already. off to a cracking start, or a CROC-KING start, if you will. God. Alright. At least some things, well, I guess all things never change. Now let's go ahead and plug the gap over here as well. Pop that down a little bit, make sure it's not punching through. There we go. This is still blocked off, so we're still fine over there. Alright, what are we talking about here? There we go. Good stuff. Guests, you can return now. There we go. A couple of stop goes, but we're okay right now. Space is a problem. Oh, right, because I have to put the water back in. There we go. That ought to do the trick. There it is. Excellent. Yeah, they've got more than enough space. I mean, the good thing is when they'll have babies, they'll have plenty of room. So, you know, there's that. Everything else is looking okay. Social group. Too many adults. How does that make any sense? You can't have too many adults. You have the exact right amount of adults. And enrichment, again, I want to take care of their enrichment. I want to make sure they are happy so that we get donations. So let's go ahead and take a look at Crocodile Enrichment items. Go ahead and get the blood scent marker. That down over there maybe. And let's go ahead and put down the frozen blood pumpkin up over here. Cool. They happy? Yeah, they're happy. Now we're playing on hard difficulty now, so enrichment items and things like that will need to be changed. Are you fleeing? Did they change something with the game? Where guests are not willing to walk through spaces anymore? Because that's what's happening right now. The guests don't want to walk through their habitat because they think they're going to be exposed to the animal, even though that's very much not the case. Oh no, don't tell me. Don't tell me that's the case. See what we can do over here. See what we can do over here. I'll just delete all the barrier paths right now. Because I think if we keep it low, then we should be fine then. If we go, you know, like down as opposed to stay above. Well, that doesn't make any sense. It's what I've always done is gone above the land, but like gone above the crevice. Okay. Let's see here. What do we got? They'll be able to escape is the thing. Like technically the game will consider them escaping. If I do it like this. I'm not sure what the game expects me to do. So let's see. Oops. And there, continue onwards, please. Continue on. Okay, come on now. Come on now. Get rid of these extra elements off to the side there. Cool. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Yep. Alright. Now we should, hopefully, be fine. That's what's happening. They're getting right to the edge and then they're deciding that they don't want to stick around. And I don't blame them if they think they're about to get eaten, but that's not how it used to be. We've done this with animals before. Oh, come on, game. Work with me here. This is what I get for wanting to make things complicated right off the bat. Yeah. Panel too long. Move you over, hook you up. There we go. Alright, let's see what the game says with this. New set of lines. Again, the animal will be able to escape is my concern. Right, if we take a look at the because of how I've cut. But I want to make sure that people are able to cross into the threshold, basically. And that's not going to stop them. Because if they're going to get stopped, then that's a problem. Come on. Go through. Have a wonderful time. Enjoy. My eyes on the boundary over here as well. Right, it's over here, so let's see what they do when they get to the edge there. Okay, now they're comfortable going in. Wild. Alright, okay. I'll be... You know what? Not entirely sure. Not entirely sure what's going on. Spend a little time away from a game and next thing you know, none of it makes sense anymore. I'm doing this adjustment now to make sure the animals are also not actually able to quote-unquote escape, because all that they need to do is get across the barrier for the game to think they've escaped, right? So I want to make sure that's not happening, because that'll also get our guests to flee. But it seems that we've solved the situation simply by putting this quote-unquote lower. But let's see if that situation stays solved as I make these adjustments. Right, and if the animal will be able to escape from a different angle, so to speak. And add another step. Let's move you in, sure. So far, so good. Guests are coming all the way through. Whoops. Alright, we still have money. Alright, good, good. Still what the game considers an escape point over here, so let's go ahead and adjust that. Obviously don't want any of that happening. Come on now. Alright, there it is. Let's go ahead and add a spot. Let's add a spot over there, and let's go ahead and move you over ever so slightly. Very messy looking. I will adjust all this. Right now, I'm just ensuring that it's all working, and then we'll adjust this and clean this up if we have to. Alright. Good stuff. Good stuff? Question mark? Yeah, good stuff. We've got one more escape point up over here. Alright, so for that to be fixed, I could do it a couple ways. And I think the way I need to do it is, I just move this thing back. So it's not considered an escape when the animal's in a little corner over there. Let's check. Alright, we're good there. Not so good up there. We have some money, obviously, to buy some more barricades with if necessary. Let's call them barricades, because that's how we're using them. Go ahead and pop you down over here. All I need to do is just cut off the animal's access, right? And this was the plan anyway. Like, in terms of the decorative elements up over here, this was the plan anyway. I was going to have this all rocked up and stuff like that, but I was trying to save a little bit of money and do that later. And instead, it has cost us, but that's okay. Again, I'm not too concerned or worried or anything like that as the sun sets on this first day. Now we started making any money. A little bit of money over here. All right, good stuff. Any donations up over here? No donations up over there. You're all coming over here. Obviously, you'll go to the spot where I haven't put a donation bin down. Don't mind if I do. There we go. We're out over here. I mean, these donation bins are close enough to both sides. 120, 100. Okay, making a little bit of money. Making a little bit of money. Yes, continue to come through. Ticket price was okay. That's all I need. I need the ticket price to be okay. Ticket was overpriced, some people say. Come on now. So, it's a massive zoo already. How can you be so, negative? These guys are old. These guys are old. We have plenty of conservation credits, so obviously we've got them saved up from our time at, or with Elite Zoo North, so that's really not, a concern per se if we have to get new animals. We can also simply go to Elite Zoo North again and pick up new saltwater crocodiles to bring in when these ones pass away. I almost said pass out. Alright. The money's been dropping rather consistently for the last little bit. Okay, seriously, everyone's going to be on this side? Yeah, people are okay with coming to the other side, and our education is ongoing on both sides as well, but these things are pretty cheap to buy. I'm going to go ahead and actually pick some more up, because education is key to making money, right? So let's go ahead and get a couple up over here. Anybody coming on over to these donation bins? No? You want me to move these around? 220 right now? Every donation makes a world of difference right now, so I will put 100 donation bins down if I need to. One down there. Get you on board. There we go. One down there as well. Again, by having such a large space, it becomes easy to miss the animal, so to speak. But I think... Yeah, alright, good, good. 300, 240. Alright. As guests come through, this will obviously change. Now, while we deal with all this, man, almost 1,000 in refunds. Well, at least we solved the problem, right? At least we solved the problem. Staff wages is obviously expensive. Loan repayment. Again. Maybe shouldn't have taken such a massive loan. But we'll be able to pay it off soon, I'm sure. Scenery running costs isn't too high. Taxes, obviously, it is what it is. Income, I mean, hey, it's been a profitable year so far. Which, well, hold on a second. Does it count the loan in here? Income, yes, it does. Damn. All right, so it's not been a profitable year so far, but that's okay. That's okay. It's obviously all the construction and stuff is a big part of it. The refunds have stopped as well. There we go. We're seeing a nice green over here. Donations keep coming through. Good stuff. Oh, wow. All right. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Turning things around. This feels good. This feels good now. Cool. I could probably put some more education boards and stuff down over here. Again, people are more likely to donate. And I think they're also more likely to donate more if they feel educated, if they're happy, and if the animals are happy as well. Alright. Alright. Things aren't so doom and gloom right now. Now, alright, so let me just touch on something really quickly. Yes, this is absolutely massive and maybe much bigger than it needs to be, but I'm really trying to get ahead of what I hope will be our inevitable other issue, which is our entry point is going to get so crowded. Now, while we wait for hopefully money to accumulate and hopefully the option to pay off our loan, and since all the issues have been taken care of for now at least, geez, what a start. The plan is we're going to have a bit of a safari / walk around zoo for our Africa section at the very least, which I intend to put up over here because it is by far going to be the largest section of this zoo. So that's gonna happen over here. My intention is to have more reasonable sized enclosures. I mean, again, those of you that watched Elite Zoo North and Season 1 of our Planet Zoo playthrough, you'll know my tendency to make overly large enclosures. I'm trying to get past that. So I just want to keep that in mind as we move forward. But yeah, Africa's going to go up over there, and my plan is down over here, South America will occupy this space over here. I'm hoping that we're going to get an Australia DLC or an Oceania DLC, which we'll put down over here. The DLC typically releases with just 4 animals, maybe a few more, maybe like 5 or 6. So I feel like that's enough room for our DLC packs, and then of course the African animals are very numerous, so that's why we've got all that space up there. Now, money is still waffling a little bit, so I am still a little concerned because we can't go in the red while we have a loan taken out. That'll be a problem, but hopefully it's not going to come to that. Of course, this enclosure isn't complete either. There's still a lot more work to do. Going very grand with our entrance is the plan over here, so we've definitely got the space to make it a grand entrance when the time comes. And of course, all of these things need decorating as well. And we are going to need more vendors soon too, to make sure that we're not leaving these guys empty for too long. I feel like it's a little premature for that. Like, I feel like we're able to sustain ourselves currently with just the number of vendors we have equal to the number of stalls we have. We'll get more vendors soon. I would really like to see these numbers going higher rather than lower. This year is almost over. Next year will give us a fresh start to the budget, and we'll get a better idea of where we sit, where we stand. Because again, all the construction and stuff obviously took its toll as well. But as it is December, let's just take a quick gander over here. 1,300, 1,657, good stuff. 200, no security guards. Yeah, I'm painfully aware of that. Let's go ahead and pick one up actually, since we've taken a loan anyway. 1 security guard will do the trick for now. 1 security guard will do the trick for now. Cool. So they're actually not stopping around these parts, which is fair. Oh, I'm surprised that one has nothing. This one's got nothing, alright. Alright, okay. It's good to learn what works and what doesn't work for us. But I mean, these are getting a lot of donations, so that's great. That's excellent. That's excellent. If we take a quick peek, again, income, our donations, 3,700. Alright, so 3,700. Not enough to counteract staff wages, obviously, but there was a time where people were all running away. The loan repayment is going to be a problem, obviously. Let's see. Let's see. Guest education rating is really low. Well, where is our speaker over here? This thing, or range, maybe that's, no. Okay, alright, here's what we'll do. Go ahead and duplicate you and pop you down over here. Let's go ahead and duplicate you and pop you down over here as well. Alright. A lot of folks around these parts over here. Inspectors arriving soon. Like, not sure how they're going to feel about what they see. Pop you down over here. Again, yes, I'm very much leaning on one half of this enclosure for now, because that way we can have our costs, basically, is my line of thinking. Now, we're in year 2. Hopefully, this is going to actually be a decent year. Last year was, quote-unquote, technically profitable, but again, it's actually negative 10k, because 20k is loans. So, let's just see what guests are saying, how they're feeling. I might want to get more vendors right off the bat. No way I'm getting ripped off by this information center. What do you mean? The prices are standard. I haven't changed the pricing or anything. I can go ahead and drop the pricing over here, though. Whoa. Pop you down to 4. There. More guests come through, then we make more money. Go ahead and maybe put just a 10-cent fee on the ATM. See what that does for us. If anything. Alright, people are excited to see the Crocs. Good, that's good. The moment I put more education speakers and stuff down over there, people stop going there as much. These guys are burning up. I never noticed that animation before. He was like fanning himself, or she was fanning herself. Yeah, that animation. Never noticed that one before. But I guess we were in a much colder climate with our previous zoo. I mean, come on, these guys are amazing to look at. This social group thing bothers me. Too many adults in the social group. They're what we need. The exact number we need. Alright. How are we looking here? 161 guests. Now, obviously, we can continue to operate on a loan. Maybe even take on another one if we feel like we need to add more animals before moving forward. But I really hope to see more than just being, you know, a level playing field. Now, granted, we are repaying our loan as we go along, so eventually it'll be fine. But I'd rather not, you know, think about eventualities. I want to be fine sooner rather than later. What are folks saying? Education is low. Well, it's because they haven't stopped anywhere yet. These guys are about to stop up over here. What are you saying? Education is low. Hunger is a problem. Well, there's food out front, so hopefully they'll grab a bite before they leave. I could get some, you know, cooling down. I don't see anything like, oh, it's too hot or anything like that, so I don't want to add to my expenses, you know? Like electricity expenses. I've seen bigger and better zoos. We just opened! Cut me some slack. Ticket price is fair. Alright, good. Scorching out here. Well, there you go. That's what I was waiting for. I was like, I haven't seen anything like it. There it is. Let's go ahead and cool people off. Let's cool people off. Put one right down in the middle over here. Not looking for 0 degrees. I'd like it to be 20 degrees. That should be cozy. Now, it should cost me money, because we aren't running off of solar panels or anything like that. There we go. Hopefully that's a bit more comfortable. And get some coolers out up over here as well. My plan is to have benches and stuff over here as well. Like this, I want this to be a nice chill space, basically. But obviously that's all in due time. As I learned right off the time lapse, right at the beginning, you shouldn't dive into things right with both feet. This is because of my purchases, obviously. 380 bucks. All right. Nerve-wracking start. 680, 360. Alright, let's just pick up the pace a little bit, I feel like. It's weird, again, going from a full zoo where things are happening constantly to something a little bit slower, more empty even, where things aren't happening constantly. Okay, people are using the stalls and things like that. That's all good. Inspectors arriving in 9 months. Okay, not a problem. Hopefully we'll get a good rating there. Guest education rating is really low. Got speakers basically everywhere at this point, where like everywhere where guests are stopping, speakers are providing coverage, right? Like these guys stopped, they looked, their education is 16%. I can add like environmental education boards and stuff as well, of course. that will make a difference, but also very expensive. I mean, getting some decent crowds. 180 or so people checking out the animals. Just not making enough. Just not making enough. Ticket sales, alright. Shop income. Okay. Adoptions are going through. Info kiosk sales. Alright, we're doing okay. Souvenir sales, none yet. Facility sales. Like me selling off facilities. Ooh, good stuff. We're getting some mating right off the bat. That'll be good. The moment we have babies, it'll start bringing more money in as well. The moment we have some babies. Also, if I didn't touch on it earlier, the reason why I went with the grasslands biome in Australia is because I really like the color palette that it comes with. We've had a pretty lush green one already, so I felt like this would be nice in terms of a... oh no, did it fail? Did you guys not manage to... But it does show us somewhere when they fail. I have a child on the way. Terrain appropriate. Oh, hello. How did I miss that? More rock, more soil, less long grass. More rock, more soil, less long grass. All right. There we go. We do have a lot of long grass, and we have more short grass as well, so... That plaster everywhere. Actually maximize the intensity on that. That should be reducing our long grass as well. Yeah, the long grass looks, you know, as long grass always looks. But I really like, yeah, the color palette that comes with this region and stuff like that. The soil and dirt and everything looks great. The grass... it looks really nice as well, and having like lush green plants alongside the grass, I think is going to look really nice. It's going to have that nice contrast to it, which I'm looking forward to. So yeah, there's a lot of reasons why I went with the grasslands biome. It felt like the right call. Now, there we go. There's a lot of long grass over here as well, I guess. Stuff, getting rid of all that. Excellent. I'm like trying not to look at the finances. You know what they say about a watched kettle or a watched pot or whatever it is. Just trying to ignore it for a little bit. Let nature do its thing, right? Let nature do its thing. Life finds a way. Whatever you want to say. There we go. Almost done with getting rid of the long grass. A little bit up over here, I think, is still upsetting the animals. There we go. Good stuff. Now, some more rock up over here. There. It looks so nice. I really like the rock texture as well. Need a lot more rock, okay? Come down over here. Make this thing a rock outcropping, I suppose. There we go. I really like how this looks. Really like how this looks. Okay, good stuff. Need still a fair bit more rock, actually. Fair enough, fair enough. Forgot how much they like rock. Excellent. Grass is being reduced as well. That's great. And then we need some soil as well. We'll add that afterwards. Pump up the size over here. There we go. All this in a rock. Excellent. Yeah, they're happy with the amount of rock. Let's just get some soil in now. Even the soil I quite like the look of. Just, yeah. Like, it all blends so nicely. Obviously, like, having the right percentages and stuff helps as well, but I'm a fan of the warm tones. It's extra warm now, obviously, because of the sunset, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. There we go. Well, I'm glad I didn't notice that earlier, actually. I'm normally pretty quick on that, but we're good. We're fine. We've noticed it now. We're all caught up. Folks are coming through. Any particular issues? Guests are happy. Ticket price is fair. Isn't much to see. Yeah, I'm aware of that. Bigger and better zoos. Yep, I'm also aware of that. Ticket prices are fair. Alright, so they're happy with the ticket prices. Education is really poor. Education is really poor, isn't it? Still seeing a decent amount of donations coming through. Purchases were obviously not as major. Ongoing expenses. Yeah, of course, nothing we can do about that. Taxes, right? Nothing we can do about that. Income. Right, because we're not counting our 20k loan. I was like, how do we have such a big drop? The loan, right. So we've made, in that case, more money this year than we made last year, looking at just the loan alone. Already, it's only August so far, so there is time yet for that to turn around. That loan, though. That loan is causing us some trouble right now. Now, hopefully the rain will help our finances a bit as people need to buy umbrellas. Yeah, maybe I should get some more vendors. Maybe I should get some more vendors. Go ahead and pick up 4 vendors. Do that. Go ahead and... I'm not training anybody up right now because I don't want to increase their salaries. So that's why I'm not training anybody up right now, but hopefully having more vendors, at this point we can start making some more money off of the these stalls. These folks have their umbrellas, people are still out over here looking at the animals. Good stuff, good stuff. Don't leave me. Don't leave me, please. I need your donations. Urgently. We are starting to see donations, though. This one's not so much, no, not so active, but I guess people need to get a little bit deeper in so they can actually see the animals, right? Where is Our Lady? There we are. Failed conception is not ideal. Surprised it didn't mention it. Fair enough, fair enough. But they were about to mate. I don't know if something stopped them from mating. Not something I've seen before, unless you like actively go in there and stop them. All right, making some serious umbrella sales. It looks like, which is great. I'll take it. I will take it. Money's looking tight. Money is looking tight. Income's not so bad. Income's okay. It's October, 10k. But even if you wipe the 380, that's obviously not enough. 4,000 on the loan repayment. That's our big snag. We would be in the black if it wasn't for the loan repayment. Do that. It'll take us longer to pay it off, but we might get, again, comfortable with money sooner and then be able to pay it off. Like, I don't want to end up in the red again is what I'm getting at. Wow, this rain is coming down hard. And for a while, it's been days it's been raining non-stop. Time's up, gotta go home. Mighty happy looking saltwater crocodiles, indeed. I mean, again, having taken care of their needs a bit better. It had completely slipped by me. That might make a world of difference. These are both getting us 2k. All right, good stuff. Almost 1,000 back there. 500 over here. All right, good stuff, good stuff. 20 over here. These ATMs, I doubt the ATMs are seeing much use because who needs an ATM when there's barely anything to see or donate to, right? The washroom is probably seeing some use. Yeah, it is. So we could, I mean, like 20 cents, 25 cents. Let's do it. For starters, right? For starters. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. I'm sure we'll be fine. I'm sure we'll bounce back okay. I want to see how we do next year. And the logic behind having the loan repayments last longer but be lesser is that if I can keep making my own money while we go along, I might be able to make that lump sum payment eventually rather than having to rely on another loan. And it also means that I will be able to build more things. Yeah, it looks like that'll make all the difference we'll need. Now, obviously, just as a reminder, I need a name suggestion for the enclosure over here. So if you've got any suggestions, feel free to drop one down in the comments. Always love putting in name suggestions from the comments. And of course, we have a couple of stalls over here that need names as well. We've got a Looney Balloons, we've got a Information Center, we've got a Hot Dog Squad, and we've got a Gulpy Soda. So bring in those names again. puns and stuff are always welcome. You can be a bit more referential if you want. I mean, like, you know, I don't know, like croc dog square or squad or whatever it might be. Oh, because of the square. Anyway, so yeah, so feel free to drop your name suggestions in the comments down below as we let's pick up the speed just a little bit, because I want to feel a little bit better by the end of this session today, because I want to make sure that we're actually seeing some decent money. So again, if you take the difference between these two and you consider that 20k loan, we did a lot better this year already. Obviously, guests weren't fleeing pointlessly. I still don't understand that opening issue we had where they weren't willing to cross the threshold, but I'm glad we fixed it. I'm glad we've gotten past that. I'm glad we continue to bring in money. Did okay that year. Did okay that year. Did okay that year. Because, again, if you think about it, we went from -10 to -3 is what happened there. So, big difference, right? Massive difference. Guests are coming through. We have extra vendors now as well, so that'll help us ensure that we are... what's the word I'm looking for? Constantly serving guests, basically. And the inspector has arrived as well. I'm really hoping that the inspection gives us a good review. Whoops. Let me see deck. I'm hoping we get a good inspection over here. Social group. I'm still not sure what's going on over there. 2 adults is exactly what you want. But if we get a good review, then hopefully that'll do something for us, right? Conservation rating is low. Marketing is obviously not happening. Now, again, I could do some marketing to get more guests in, but is that an expense that I'm willing to take on right now? We're profitable currently, if you can call this that. We're profitable currently. We'll be fine. I'm not as concerned as when the Polar Bear Mafia came through in Elite Zoo North and took us down to -50k or whatever it was. Jeez, that was bad. This is nothing in comparison. It's like we've been through the worst possible scenario, so I'm not so easily stressed out. Alright, we're making money. Plus, the other thing is, like, I want to have money in the bank so I'm able to do some of our crazier building and whatnot as well, right? Like, that was my big flaw today, was that I wanted to go big before we had the money to go big. Lesson learned, right? Got to keep checking myself. Lesson learned. What are the challenges we have on hand as well? Exhibit species, yearly profit of 2,000. Listen now. Listen. Don't be like that. 300 guests will make us 1,000 as a reward. The small cash injections will go a long way. I don't think I'm about to adopt any exhibit species. I suppose I could, actually. I suppose I could get some exhibit species up over here. They cost 2,000 a piece, though, just to buy the enclosure itself, like the actual thing where they live. So it's like, is that the right investment? Report ready for viewing. Education is low. Cleanliness is high. And what? Do you want me to just put down more of everything? Let's see. Where is guest education? We got coverage over here. We got coverage over here. We got coverage all the way over here. I mean, I suppose I could move... Let's see. I can make this a little bit louder, right? And I could move this... I don't know, I feel like we've got a pretty good coverage. Nudge you over a little bit this way. Make you a little bit louder this way. There. Gives us a bit more coverage that way, I suppose. Because, yeah, it's been a constant concern for everybody is the education rating. And again, I can add the, environmental impact education stuff as well, obviously. But that's, again, that's also pretty expensive, 2,000 a piece. Alright, making money. Grand total of 500 bucks. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and speed time up a little bit just to see how things are going. So again, the plan is, yeah, like we have... Oh, and just as a reminder, and again, for those of you that didn't know, the plan is to make this zoo accessible as well. I want to make sure that we're able to... like, everything is reachable by everybody. Anytime we have to use stairs for anything, I want to build a custom elevator-type structure so that people, in our head canon, we can pretend that people are able to access higher floors and lower floors and things like that when they have to deal with stairs. I just feel like it's another extra layer of challenge for us that we can embrace and we can have some fun with. will make things, I think, a little bit more interesting for the overall playthrough. Money seems to be coming through pretty nicely, but I mean, again, we're paying so many ongoing expenses, right? Like, I suppose I could drop salaries if I have to, but I don't want to reduce salaries to where it's in the red. Now, total profits are looking good. Loan, how much do we have to pay? 10K needs to be repaid. All right, you know what? It's April. We've made 1,100 bucks. Feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty good. Gotta let time pass a little bit. And again, what I'm thinking is that the next step is adding maybe a South American animal, or maybe it is actually getting some exhibit animals, because there are exhibit animals we can get, such as the, and I hate looking at this thing, but I have to, for the purposes of, oh god, we can get the cockroach-in, right? That's one step. There's a snake as well, and I forget which snake it is. Yeah, the eastern brown snake we can drop in as well. My only hesitation, again, is that the actual living space for these guys is 2,000, is it not? Hold on. It's been a while. Where do I could have sworn it was in facilities down over here. But it isn't. Oh, right, that's why, because I've got it stays. Oh, it's 3,000. It's actually more than I thought it was. Jeez. All right. So, you know, will I make the money back by having just one more, animal for folks to look at? Will it draw people up here enough to you know, pull those donations out of them? I don't know. All right, but money is coming through though. Let's go ahead and speed up another notch, just to see how we're trending overall, just to make sure we're all comfortable with how things are going. Yeah, so maybe we'll get the. I mean, y'all let me know in the comments what you think. Again, I always look for feedback and ideas, but maybe we get the roach or the snake up in the corner over here. You know, draw more crowds up there, or. And again, this space will be a lot more filled up as we go along. I've got a lot of plans for this area. I've just basically gone ahead with future planning and left a lot of negative space, which is why it feels overly massive right now. But I think it'll all, you know, come together nicely down the line. But yeah, sorry, as I was saying, either the next step is to get the animals over here, like the exhibits over here, or we get a South American animal to kick things off right off the bat and make sure we have more money coming through. Because again, more spots for donations to come through means more spots to make money off of, right? That's right. Oh, jeez. Oh no. Why did that happen? How did we suddenly drop in the red so hard? Oh, in October. Did my taxes just come through? Is that what it was? Because let me tell you, that seems accurate. Lots of guests coming through. I mean, again, having more animals will also allow me to charge a touch more for each ticket, right? And that also makes a world of difference. Every little bit counts. Every little bit counts. Jesus. Making 500 a year. Not very promising. That would not be very promising at all. Move things down a little bit. Well, let's see. I wonder if I should, like, fire my vet or something. Because our vet, I mean, they're not really doing much right now. We can't research this animal because we've already maxed out the research on them at Elite Zoo North. If we take a look at our vet, they get paid 1,000 a month. Right, that's not a joke. Mechanic, keeper, caretaker. I mean, the keeper is necessary, obviously, to feed the animal and stuff. A vet, though, I mean, maybe. Maybe we axe the vet momentarily. If these animals get sick, that's a different problem altogether. If the animals get sick, we have an issue, though. Then we'll have to hire a vet. Yeah. Not that there's anything lost, because it's not like there's a hiring fee or anything like that. Interesting to be having these conversations right off the bat. Alright, we ended up turning a profit last year. You know, if that counts. 4 years left on this loan as well. 9,000 to repay. We're so close. So close and yet so far. Now, it is nice to see that at least guests are willing to go all the way across. My first concern was that guests would not be willing to go all the way across, and they just kind of turn around over here and leave. Lots of folks at the information center, which is good to see as well. Hopefully picking up donations and things like that. I don't want to raise the prices on our vending facilities just quite yet, because I don't want people to be turned away completely from it. Or from them, I should say. Alright. Just picking up the speed again just to see where we're sitting. Yeah, if we get the exhibit over here. Because people are coming all the way to the end. Get the exhibit over here. That was my plan, is to have like this space be for eating, relaxing, seeing some exhibits as well. Have one over here and one over there. So that way this area becomes kind of very busy and active. That might be the way to go next. Rather than repay our loan. Because last year we ended up spending $2,000. Now halfway through the year, we reduced our amount, if I'm not mistaken. That's kind of strange, actually. Because it's down to 3K. So how is that 2,000? Doesn't make any sense. I hope this year doesn't end up as more. Beginning of April, we were at 500. Okay, so it's going to be 2,000 again. All right, okay. So that lines up. Fair enough. That lines up. Over here. Donations are coming through still. Yeah, roughly about in the same space, I suppose. Halfway through. Yeah, we're roundabout in the same space, but definitely not feeling as comfy as I'd like to. But you know what? In so many ways, that's part of the fun of a franchise mode zoo. To me, is just that the chance that it might all go sideways as quickly as the first episode. Not that it's going to. We'll be fine. We'll be fine, folks. And as soon as we stop having to pay the loan, we'll be okay. Do I regret paying the loan? No. I had to, or taking the loan, I mean, I had to take it because it, we needed to adjust our terrain and stuff. Could I have made do with a 5,000 loan? Absolutely. But hindsight 2020. Ooh, hello. I could pay off the loan right now. Do it. Pay it off. Done. Done. That makes me feel so much better that we could actually get that done. Because now, yes, huge hit to our money. Absolutely. But at least we're no longer spending, like we just saved ourselves, well, it's a strange, we have to think about the interest rates and stuff, right? But we've saved ourselves a fair bit of money long term. Next year's going to look a lot better in terms of our overall finances, and I'll just feel a lot more comfortable moving forward. Money right now is looking kind of tight, but again, as long as we stay, you know, roughly in the black, we'll be okay. Come on, baby. Keep us going. Keep us going. October. So we're almost at the end of the year, actually. What is our income looking like? Donations, 7K, so roughly the same as last year. Shop income seems, it's a little bit lower, but again, we're oh yeah, we're catching up. We're catching up. It's November now, right? Again, this is like end of year conversation. Ticket sales, again, around about the same spot, basically. I'd like to see the donations come up a little bit. Now, obviously, having repaid that loan, we don't have the money for the little exhibits, but I think we'll get that money together soon enough. All right, good stuff, good stuff. These numbers are looking pretty good. Guests are going, it's not like you run out of guests. It's not like the entire population of the nation comes through and gets bored of your zoo and stops coming for the same animals. So, fresh year, fresh start, no loans to worry about. No, you know, extra costs associated with all that, you know, bogging us down. I'm okay with being just a little in the red every once in a while. It means that overall we're making a more consistent okay, that's not comforting. There we go. It's weird that we're seeing this, but expect this number down here to be a reflection of this number up over here. Inspector has arrived again. All right, hopefully we'll get a good rating. The education is still going to be an issue, I'm sure, but no donations here yet. Donations yet, coming through. Good stuff, good stuff. Oh, wow. It's only April and this has already made so much money. That's insane. Not complaining. I'll take it. Oh, right, obviously these numbers won't match. Because this is my overall and this is my year. Jeez. Completely thrown off by our circumstances. But hey. Profitable. Right? Taxes have already been ongoing, so it's not like there's a sudden lump sum or anything like that coming through. Alright, the crocodiles are bringing in the money. That's good. That was my expectation from our previous zoo, is that they would be able to bring us money. Look at that. Money's actually looking pretty good. We're almost at 3K. We're almost able to afford the exhibit box, or whatever you want to call it, entirely on our own. So, that's good. That's good. And again, if I want to actually open an enclosure, a small one, like, I mean, what animal could we be looking at next? Like, if we look at the South American options we have, it's difficult because I want everything to be big, right? I want everything to be huge and overly complicated. The white-faced capuchin falls under the southern hemisphere. We've got the llama, obviously. They don't need that much space or anything. And again, if the enclosure starts simple and gets complicated afterwards, then that's cool too, I think. If we update it down the line and make it super cool and thematic and, you know, culturally inclined, or however you want to phrase it, I think that's pretty cool too. Just got to make sure we can actually afford it. And that's why I'm wondering if we want to get another animal in to get more donations, more large-scale donations that way, rather than a snake, which I don't think will bring us in that much money, right? I don't think a snake will get us several $1,000s worth of donations. But, quick glance at our year 5. The zoo's already been open for 5 years. Elite Zoo North was open for 150 years plus before we opened Elite Zoo South, which is another wild thing to think about. But yeah, I'm feeling pretty good, actually. Go ahead and crank up the speed again. Are we going to crack that 3K? I think so. I think we did, didn't we? Just there momentarily. Inspector is arriving in 20 months. I guess the previous inspector has left already. 4 stars. Oh, right, of course, because the education is hurting us. Ah. Ridiculous. Alright, you know, this feels great. Just to not have the loan to worry about. And again, we can do marketing as well if we want to. Get our guest count higher, and that way we'll not have to worry about... there we go. Crack that 3K. Get our guest count higher, and then that way we'll have more people spending, you know, more money with less of an investment on our end. You know, having to build more stuff and whatnot. Alright. Alright. This is good. This is good. Man, I'm not gonna lie. At the beginning, I thought it was all gonna crash and burn right off the bat. I thought it was all gonna crash and burn right off the bat. And that would have been hilarious. That would have been quite the start to our Season 2. But no, we did not crash and burn. We stayed afloat, you could say. I can't help myself. Say I'm sorry, but I'm really not. No, this is good. This is good. This is good. We're closer to 3.5K than we are to, you know, negative anything. We've made 2,000 this year. Is it a lot of money? No. But I can't keep comparing it to the end of Elite Zoo North, or the height, I should say, of Elite Zoo North. I need to keep reminding myself that this is a smaller zoo. So, what do you guys think? I mean, let me know your thoughts. Do we get a snake and a cockroach put down over the course of the next session? While also, you know, dolling up this enclosure a bit more with the money we have. We have to be careful again with our expenses, right? 3,000 is the cost of just one of these exhibits. And then there's the cost of the animal itself on top of that, let's not forget. So, do we do that first? Do we get ourselves a South American animal first? Do we continue on with the Africa expansion? Again, I've got major plans. I don't want to spoil everything, but I've got some major plans for, you know, past over there. I intend to build like waterfalls and stuff over here. This is going to be a grand entrance when it's done. And I'm glad that it is, it's looking like it's actually possible, and it's not like I took a massive misstep to kick things off. I'd like to not end the session in the middle of the night while it's raining, actually. That'd be ideal. That would be ideal. And again, just as a reminder, folks, Everybody is welcome to drop their name suggestions for our crocodile enclosure. Everybody is also welcome, of course, to drop name suggestions for all of our vendors down over here. They all need names. Let's get it all started properly, right? And make sure that we're personalizing everything as much as we can. This rain, I think, will last for a while. We are well past 4K in earnings, or rather, we're well past 4K in the bank. We're past 3K in earnings, or profits, I should say, even. I'm feeling good. All right, fantastic. Fantastic. And as this beautiful sun rises above us, as I struggle to find our little friends, there we go. Both just chilling out in the open. Surprised it's not a lot more crowd. Oh, there we go. That's great. That's great. Oh. Buddy didn't like the camera. Fair enough. Too bad we didn't get our babies coming through, eh? That would have been nice. Got our babies right off the bat. But anyway, folks, what I was getting to was, I think it's time to call it a session. A roller coaster ride already. Started losing money. Almost went bankrupt already. And it's only been, what, an hour and a bit of hopefully what we can all call entertainment. If you guys enjoyed this session, you know what to do. Let me know by leaving a like and a comment down below. If you didn't enjoy this session, if there's something that I could do to make it more entertaining, as always, let me know by leaving a comment down below. Makes a massive difference to, again, how I approach things on the channel. I do read each and every comment, and I do let it, yes, influence our approach. It is a really nice kind of community feeling, in my opinion at least. I just want to mention as well, if you haven't already joined our Discord, there is a Discord link in the description as well. Very active community. We've got a whole channel dedicated to Planet Zoo too, so make sure you join in on the action there as well. It's gonna be interesting, folks, but good to be back, and it's good to feel the thrill of the challenges of franchise mode. Off to a rockin' start. As always, a massive thanks goes out to all of my channel members and patrons for supporting the channel on a monthly basis. You keep us alive and running smoothly. And a big ol' thanks goes out to each and every one of you for watching. Until next time, cheers.